Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be grading every first round pick from the 2025 NFL Draft. Kicking things off with the first overall pick, where the Titans took Cam Ward, and this pick gets an A-. The Titans, they got their guy in Cam Ward. He is a good quarterback prospect, not elite, but he's still a good player. He's got a ton of potential, and even though he's not the best player in the draft, the Titans, they got a player they hope can be their franchise quarterback. I really like Cam Ward, and he gets an A-. Second, the Jaguars took Travis Hunter. This is an A+. The Jaguars, they got aggressive trading up from number 5 to number 2, and they had to give up an extra first round pick next year, but I think it's worth it. Travis Hunter, he is a special player with what he can do on both sides of the ball. He's expected to be a full-time corner with also seeing a good chunk of time at receiver, but Travis Hunter, he is a special talent. The Jaguars, they get an elite corner and receiver, and this is an A+ pick at number 2. Third, the Giants took Abdul Carter. This is another A+ pick, another pick I really like. Abdul Carter, arguably the best player in the draft. He is an insane athlete, really can do it all off the edge, and he's a really good player. And the Giants' front seven, which is already good, gets even better, and this is an A+. Fourth, the Patriots took Will Campbell. This pick gets a B+. Will Campbell, he's a good player. Now, there's definitely concerns with Will Campbell, like the arm length, but he's still a good player, and there's a chance the Patriots could have gotten him a little later in the draft and traded back, but Will Campbell, he's still a really good player. He fills position of need, and a B+ here for the Patriots. Fifth, the Browns took Mason Graham. This is another pick that gets a B+. The Browns, they traded down from 2 to 5 to take Mason Graham, and I don't love the move there, passing on a generational talent like Travis Hunter, but they were able to get a lot back in return. Now, Mason Graham, he's a really good player. He's not huge for a defensive tackle, but he plays with great leverage, and the Browns, they got Myles Garrett some help along the defensive line. Not an amazing pick, but still a good pick, B+ here for the Browns. The Raiders at number 6 took Ashton Jeanty. This pick gets an A+. It might be a little early for a running back to go, but Raiders, they're in a position here at number 6 where they can afford to take a running back, especially when it's someone like Ashton Jeanty. He is a special talent for the running back position with his combination of elusiveness and power. He is an elite player, and he fills a position of need for the Raiders at number 6. They get an A+. Seventh, the Jets took Armand Membou. This is an A. I like this pick. The Jets, they needed a right tackle. They get Armand Membou. He's a really athletic player. Definitely needs to develop, but he's a really good prospect, an insane athlete. Played right tackle in college, will stick there in the NFL for the Jets, and a great pick for the Jets at number 7. They get an A. Eighth, the Panthers took Tetairoa McMillan. This pick gets a B. McMillan, he's a great player, got an insane catch radius, and a great jump ball player. He's also a good route runner, and I definitely understand the pick here for the Panthers, getting Bryce Young, another big target on the outside. But I would prefer to have seen the Panthers go with an edge rusher and someone like Jalen Walker. But still a good player in McMillan, and the Panthers, they get a B for this pick. The Saints at number 9 took Kelvin Banks Jr. This gets an A-. The Saints, they took Kelvin Banks. He's a really good player. I think he was a little bit underrated in the pre-draft process, but ends up going top 10. The Saints, they replaced Ryan Ramczyk, who retired a few days ago, and Banks, he's a player I like a lot. He'll have to move to right tackle for the Saints, but a good pick, and the Saints get an A-. The Bears at number 10 took Colston Loveland. This pick gets a B+. At first, I didn't like this pick, but the more I think about it, I actually kind of like it. Tight end definitely wasn't the biggest need for the Bears, but Colston Loveland, he's a good player. He's a great pass catcher and a solid blocker, and we saw the success Ben Johnson had with Samuel Porta when he was in Detroit. Now Ben Johnson gets his tight end with the Bears in Colston Loveland. They do still have Cole Kmet, but that's really not a problem because last year Ben Johnson ran 12 personnel 32% of the time, which was third most in the league. So the more I think about this, Loveland to the Bears, actually a pretty good pick. They get a B+. 11th, the 49ers took Mikael Williams. This gets a B. A solid pick here for the 49ers. Mikael Williams, a player with a lot of potential with his combination of size and strength, but he needs to be more consistent. The potential is there for him to become one of the best power rushers in the NFL, but obviously he needs to develop quite a bit. But the 49ers, they get Nick Bosa some help, and they get a B. At number 12, the Cowboys took offensive lineman Tyrell Booker. This is another pick that gets a B. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this pick, but I like this pick for the Cowboys. They get a powerful blocker who can help replace Zach Martin, who retired earlier in the offseason. Now, obviously, that's big shoes to fill, but I like Booker. He's a good player, and the Cowboys get a B. And they also try to assemble the all-Tyrell offensive line. The Dolphins at number 13, they get Kenneth Grant. This pick gets a B-. I like Kenneth Grant, but I would have preferred the Dolphins to take a corner with someone like Jahdae Barron. But Grant, he's a good player. He's huge at 6'4", 330 pounds, and he helps the Dolphins at a position of need. They get a B minus. The Colts at number 14, they took Tyler Warren, and this pick gets an A. The Colts, they were in desperate need of a tight end, and they got arguably the best tight end in the class in Tyler Warren. Warren, he can really do it all. He's a great pass catcher, a good blocker, and good with the ball in his hands, and he's going to be a very reliable target for whoever the Colts quarterback is, whether that's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. And if neither of those guys work out, maybe they can try Tyler Warren at quarterback, because he has thrown some passes in his career. Actually, a former high school quarterback. But a great pick for the Colts here at 14, they get an A. 15th, the Falcons took Jalen Walker. This pick gets an A minus. A good pick here for the Falcons. They desperately needed an edge rusher, and they get a good one in Jalen Walker. He is a very versatile player, a great athlete, and I really like the pick here for the Falcons at 15. They get an A minus. The Cardinals at number 16 took defensive tackle Walter Nolan. This pick gets a B. A good pick here for the Cardinals. Nolan, a former top recruit in his recruiting class, got a lot of potential. He's a good pass rusher and a good player on the interior. I like Shamar Stewart a little bit more as far as a fit goes for the Cardinals, but Nolan's still a really talented player, and this pick gets a B. Getting into the second half of the first round, the Bengals at 17 took Shamar Stewart. This pick gets a C+. This is an interesting one. I like Shamar Stewart. He's got a lot of potential and can develop into one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. But I'm not the biggest fan of this pick here for the Bengals, because when you look at their defense, they need players who can make a big impact now, and I just don't think Shamar Stewart fits that description. He's got a ton of potential, but he needs to develop, and he can be great. He can end up being one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, but as far as the pick goes right now, I don't love it, and he gets a C+. The Seahawks at number 18 took offensive lineman Gray Zabel. This is an A. A great pick here for the Seahawks. They desperately needed help along the offensive line, and they get a really good lineman in Gray Zabel. He played tackle at North Dakota State, will move inside at the next level, but he's a great player, very well-rounded, with great versatility along the offensive line, and Seahawks get an A. The Buccaneers at number 19 took wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. B minus. I don't love this pick for the Bucs. I like Egbuka as a player. He's a great route runner and great with the ball in his hands, but I would prefer to have seen the Bucs use this pick on defense. I definitely understand where they're coming from, with Mike Evans getting older and Chris Godwin coming off a bad ankle injury, but I would have preferred to see them go with someone like a Jahad Campbell or Jahdae Barron. But Egbuka is still a really good player, and this pick gets a B minus. The Broncos at number 20 to corner Jahdae Barron. This gets a B plus. An interesting pick here for the Broncos. They definitely did not need to take a corner, already having Patrick Surtain and Riley Moss, but they ended up going best player available in Jahdae Barron, and Barron's a great player. He can play all over the back end of the defense, whether that's outside corner, nickel, or safety, and a really good player. Makes an already great Broncos defense even better. Although I would have preferred the Broncos to use this pick on an offensive playmaker, somebody like a Luther Burden or an Amarian Hampton. But still a good player. The Broncos get even better on defense, and they get a B+. The Steelers at number 21 took Derek Harmon. This pick gets a B. A solid pick here for the Steelers. A lot of people thought they might go quarterback with Shedeur Sanders. Clearly that didn't happen. Shedeur Sanders ended up falling to the 5th round. But instead they went with Derek Harmon. He's a good player, a great run defender, and I think he's going to be a great player along that Steelers defensive line, especially because he can learn from Cam Hayward. But definitely a solid pick here for the Steelers. I think they could have gone a few different directions, and that's why this pick gets a B, but Harmon, still a solid player. The Chargers at 22 took running back Amarian Hampton. This pick gets another B. This is a very Jim Harbaugh pick, because the Chargers completely ignore their massive hole at receiver, and instead take a running back. And if that's not a Jim Harbaugh pick, I don't know what is. But Amarian Hampton, he's a really good player. He had back-to-back years with at least 1,500 yards and 15 scores at North Carolina. He's a really good player. The Chargers, they get a B here for Hampton, just because I would have rather to see them take a receiver like Matthew Golden. But Hampton's still a really good player. This pick gets a B. 23rd, the Packers took Matthew Golden. B+. The Packers, they made an extremely surprising pick, taking a receiver in the first round for the first time in 23 years, and they went with Matthew Golden. Golden, he's a player, a really good route runner, really good with the ball in his hands, and he's really fast. A great fit here for the Packers. They need a true wide receiver 1, and I definitely think Golden has that potential. They get a B+. The Vikings at number 24 took offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. This pick gets a B. A solid pick here for the Vikings. Jackson at 24 is a very solid player, can play guard or tackle, play both at Ohio State. And the Vikings, they did need to improve the offensive line. It might be a little early for Donovan Jackson, but I do understand the pick because Texans were scheduled to pick next before they traded that pick to the Giants, but the Vikings, they get a B. 25th, the Giants took Jackson Dart, and this pick is a B+. I know a lot of people don't like this pick for the Giants, but I like it. Jackson Dart was Brian Daboll's guy. The Giants, they went out and got him, and I like Jackson Dart. He's a good player. He's got a good arm. It's nothing great, but he's a good player. He's pretty mobile, and I think this is a great fit for the Giants. They have Russell Wilson and James Winston, so Jackson Dart was not in a position where he needs to start right away, which I definitely think is a good thing because he's not ready to start right away. But it gives Jackson Dart time to develop, learn the NFL offense after playing in a simplified Ole Miss offense. And as a Giants fan, I'm very happy the Giants went with Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders, and I give the Giants a B+. 26th, the Falcons took James Pierce Jr. This is another B+. The Falcons, they made it 2 edge rushers in the first round after taking Jalen Walker at 15. They took Pierce here at 26. James Pierce Jr., a great player. He is really talented. Fell down the board due to some character concerns, but Pierce is a really good player. Great value at 26. And the only thing I don't really like about this pick for the Falcons is what they had to give up to get him. Because they gave up a 2nd rounder, a 7th rounder, and their first next year. Kind of a lot to give up for the 26th pick. But Pierce is a good player, and a B+ here for the Falcons. The Ravens at 27 took Malachi Starks. This pick gets an A+. I really like Malachi Starks. He is a great player, and the Ravens get a really smart player in Malachi Starks to pair with an already great safety in Kyle Hamilton, giving them one of the best safety duos in the NFL. This pick gets an A+. 28th, the Lions took defensive tackle from Ohio State, Tyleik Williams. This pick gets a B-. Tyleik Williams was not a player I expected to see going in the first round, but the Lions liked him, and they got him at 28. Williams, he's a good player, got a lot of potential as a pass rusher from the interior, and the Lions, they also needed depth along the interior of the defensive line. Now, I would have preferred to see them go with a edge rusher like Mike Green, but still a solid pick here for the Lions. They get a B-. 29th, the Commanders took offensive lineman Josh Conerly. This is a B. The Commanders didn't need to take a tackle, but they took Josh Conerly, and I like Conerly. He's a very solid pick, a great pass protector, and he's not in a position where he's got to start right away. So the Commanders, they can sit him, have him develop for a while, and it's still a good pick. They get a B, although I would have preferred to see them take someone like a corner or a linebacker. 30th, the Bills took Maxwell Harrison. This is a B+. I like this pick for the Bills. They needed a corner, and they get Maxwell Harrison. He is really fast, an insane athlete. Needs to develop, but has all the tools to be a lockdown corner in the NFL. And the Bills, they get a high upside player at number 30, and they get a B+. The Eagles at 31 took linebacker Jahad Campbell. This pick gets an A-. I really like Jahad Campbell. He's a really fun player, a great athlete, and can cover, rush the passer, really do it all at the linebacker position. And of course, he had to go to the Eagles. They already have Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, so linebacker wasn't their biggest need, and not a position I expected to see them go in the first round. But while I don't like seeing the Eagles get another great player, this is a good pick, and they get an A-. And the final pick of the first round, the Chiefs at number 32 took Josh Simmons. This gets an A+. This is a home run pick for the Chiefs. I didn't think Josh Simmons would be available here at 32, but he was, and the Chiefs went and got him. Simmons definitely would have gone a lot higher, and might have been the first tackle off the board if he didn't get hurt this past season, but he's a really good player. The Chiefs, they get great value here at 32, and they fill a major position of need. This pick gets an A+. But those are my grades for every first round pick from the 2025 NFL Draft. That's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.